Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards, and today we've got this beautiful 1960 Topps card of Bob Buhl. Boy, I really do enjoy the 60s. Just great cards. And this Bob Buhl card here is a pretty nice looking card, if I do say so myself. And yeah, Bob was a key member of the Milwaukee Braves during the late 50s. And had a good career, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, Bob, he signed in 1948 with the Braves. Actually, he signed in like 1946 or 47 with the White Sox, but it was an illegal signing due to his age, and so he had to go back and be re-signed again, and the Braves grabbed him in 1948. And Bob went to the minor leagues, but then in 1951 and 52, he was in the U.S. Army, and he was a paratrooper. And he actually made 19 jumps into Korea during the Korean War. So thank you for your service, Bob. And he was a tough nut. And to be a paratrooper, I guess that made him even a little bit tougher. But he was always known as a very brash, known to really challenge hitters. And of course, him and the Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers had many encounters. I'll just leave it at that because they played each other a lot in the mid to late 50s, and they were both very competitive, and Bob Buhl always played very well against the Dodgers. And he made his major league debut in April 17th of 1953, and his last appearance was April 30th of 1967. So he had quite a long career, and his baseball card run, he had a 1954 Topps was his rookie card. If you think about a Hank Aaron rookie card, Bob's looks very similar with the orange, that orange background and the Braves logo. And his last card is a 1967 Topps. So when Bob got back from the Korean War, he went back with the Braves, and he had his best seasons. Like 1956 and 57 were really good. He went 18-8 in 56, and he was 8-1 against the aforementioned Brooklyn Dodgers. And then in 57, he went 18-7 and finished third in the Cy Young vote behind Warren Spahn, who was the winner. And then in 1958, he had a sore shoulder, and he only appeared in 11 games. And he didn't pitch in the World Series in 58. In 57, he pitched in the World Series, but it was a complete debacle. He wild pitch, gave up home runs, hits. I believe he only lasted 3 innings, if that, in the one game he pitched in the 57 World Series. But him and Eddie Matthews, they were roommates, and they were buddies, and they caroused and drank and did a lot together. When you read about the Milwaukee Braves of that time frame, you've got Buhl, Spahn, and Matthews, but Matthews and Buhl were kind of tied together at the hip, and they were known to really roughhouse it. A couple of really tough hombres, and they were pretty well known in all the hot spots in the major league cities. But I wanted to share this Eddie Matthews card with you. Love the 1960 Topps, just a great card. But in 1962, Bob was traded to the Cubs, and he was with the Cubs from 62 to 66, and the Cubs struggled pretty good, and he had some decent seasons, but he started having some more arm issues and arm problems, and just kind of was run of the mill with the Cubs. And then he ended up getting traded to the Philadelphia Phillies for this guy right here on the top, Fergie Jenkins. And I don't have a Ferguson Jenkins card handy, so I got one of my league leaders cards here. But Bob Buhl was traded from the Cubs to the Phillies for Fergie Jenkins. And we know how that trade worked out. Not too well for the Phillies, and pretty darn good for the Cubs. There's that card there. And then this one here I really do like as well, with Fergie from the 69. Fergie and Bob Gibson and Bill Singer, strikeout leaders. But the great Ferguson Jenkins was traded for Bobby Buhl. And Bob lasted the 66 season with the Phillies, and in 1967 he only pitched 3 innings. His arm was shot, and he retired. And interestingly for Bob, he was named the worst hitting pitcher of the 1950s and 60s by Bill James, the great sports writer. Bob, in 857 at-bats, he had a .089 batting average. And he said even the hits that he got were just pure luck. He said he just was not a good hitter. He took extra batting practice. He tried to hit from the left and from the right. I mean, he really worked at it, but he said, man, I could not hit to save my life. But Bob ended up with a good record, 166 wins, 132 losses, over 2,500 innings pitched, 111 complete games with 20 shutouts, and almost 1,300 strikeouts. And, you know, Bob really pitched well against the Brooklyn Dodgers. As a matter of fact, against the great Roy Campanella, he held Roy Campanella to a 164 average. And they played a lot against each other. And Roy was just a fabulous hitter. But Bob Buhl was tough on Campanella. He was tough on Gil Hodges, on Duke Snider. He just really battled hard against the Dodgers. And those were pretty ferocious battle games between the Braves and the Dodgers. They did not care for each other too much. But this is a story on Bob Buhl. And, you know, for a Milwaukee Brave guy like me, he was a big part of that late 50s team, which was just so good. Should have won more than one World Series, in my opinion. But that's the story on Bob Buhl, a hard-nosed pitcher, a guy who served his country, paratrooper, didn't back down, and was just a real tough pitcher in the 50s and the 60s. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. A little bit long this time, but if you do, leave a comment, like and subscribe. I really do enjoy looking at the stories behind these guys. What we would call commons in our sets. And so that's the story on Bob. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and take care.